State Facts Podcast Morning Show. I am your host and your brother Dean. Good morning. Man, it's hard to balance a full-time job while working on passion projects. If you agree, tune in and listen to the show today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you woke up on the right side of the bed this morning. Yes, sir. We have a real good show in store for you guys today. Let's go. Get your coffee, get ready. Receive the message. Yeah. Wednesday, April 15, 2020. We're going to jump right into it. Dealing with anxiety. Dealing with anxiety is the topic for today. But first and foremost, we would like to thank the most gracious and most merciful for allowing us another opportunity to correct our wrongs from yesterday and make them right on today. We want to thank the most gracious for allowing us to see another daylight, because we know that somebody ain't wake up today. Our prayers go out to all the family and loved ones who lost friends, family, to anyone who has lost a relative in this ongoing pandemic. We want to thank the most gracious, most merciful for making us amongst the ones who wake up in the morning and send our salutations to him. Yes, sir. Dealing with anxiety. April 15, 2020. On this Wednesday morning, we're going to deal with it today. Before we get into the topic today, I just want to let you guys know that it's real crucial that you guys choose a news station to look at when it comes down to having understanding of what's going on during this pandemic. Because if you don't know that some of these news stations are Democrat, some of these news stations favors the Republicans. So what you listening to on these news stations, you actually getting biased opinions based on statements that was made, whether it be from the president or from anybody in the White House. And that is to take no side, because me personally, I just fall on the conservative side. The Democrat and Republican thing, I'm not too far into that. But I am a conservative person. Open up your eyes, choose your news station to listen to. If you want to look at news stations, a variety of them, you should look at some in the U.S. and some overseas. That way you can get an overall understanding. Or you can, even if you don't get an understanding, what you can do is, and this goes along with your anxiety, because some of these news stations is causing this stress and anxiety. It is serious. It is serious. Now this pandemic is serious. Yet and still, again, my information to you is, go ahead and find you a station and fall on the right side of these statements and what's going on here in these days. The number one thing is to call on your Lord. Call on your Lord and ask him for understanding. Yes, sir. Dealing with anxiety is the topic for today. Welcome, everybody. I want to take this time out to thank all my subscribers, to say thank you. I appreciate everybody who's been listening. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the help. I am very grateful for everything that the most gracious, most merciful allowed me to encounter through this time, because I have talked to good people. I talk to people I haven't talked to in a long time, and it feels good. It helps with my anxiety. Everybody has a little anxiety. Yes, sir. State Facts Podcast Morning Show. I'm your host and your brother Deen. Let's go. Wake on up. Get that coffee on. We have a good. We have a great show in store for you guys today. Dealing with anxiety is the topic. You need to hear this. Yes, sir. President Donald Trump is pushing for the United States to open back up. He pushing real hard. You have a thing between him and the governors of these different states. Some riding with him, some not. Again, pay attention to that and see what's going on. Some statements is being made that you need to pay attention to, that we all need to pay attention to. Some of the governors working with him, some don't want to work with him. Really don't understand why he's saying what he's saying, and I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to go check into the news from April 14th, because it was live April 14th. He addressed the United States. So some of the governors working towards opening up in a Trump-like manner. They're ready for him to give the green light, which is hard to say. So you go look at the news yourself, figure out. But that was the topic of yesterday, and blame Trump shut down some of the dealing with some people. He's shutting down, and it sound pretty stern. So I hope you guys woke up on the right side of the bed, man. Like I said, I don't get too far into that news stuff like that. You know, I'm trying to control my thoughts as a humane. So let's go, man. Dealing with anxiety. We about to jump into it now. First thing to know is that you're not alone. Even if it seems that you don't have maybe a companion, or you're not getting as much compassion from the opposite sex, like a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, close friend, a cuddle buddy, or whatever. You know, it may seem like that, but there are people out there who's basically dealing with the same issues you're dealing with. And I think, like I always say, I think when people talk to other people about how they overcame certain situations, when we dealing with anxiety, it's not an overcoming thing, because I have learned from being in a previous relationship that, you know, it's something that turns on and off, and basically you're not the controller of these attacks that you be having. So to define anxiety is feeling worried, nervous, restless, increasing in your heart rate, trembling, feeling weak or tired. Everyone has a bit of anxiety, and that's just some of the things just to get through it. To define anxiety, again, feeling worried, nervous, restless, increasing in heart rate, trembling, feeling weak or tired. When you're nervous sometimes to approach things, like when sometimes some you might be at work and somebody might be we call it harassing or bothering me or targeting me. It's your reaction to whatever the act is, and it get uncontrollable. Then you know you facing some symptoms of anxiety. And again, don't be lazy. If that's what you're dealing with, number one is to pray. Number two is to go look at what anxiety is. Because nobody really mastered the art of controlling their anxiety, because it's something that goes in and out. It comes in and out. Some ways that you can prevent anxiety: you can exercise, eat a balanced diet, limit the drugs and alcohol, because that's one thing. Alcohol is sending you straight into depression. End the drugs and alcohol, or limit them. Take your time, talk to someone, read, and again, the last thing for me is the first thing, because I believe that if you do this at the beginning, you should do this at the end, and that's pray. That's number one. So, just to skim off the top, remember, anxiety, first thing is you justify with the situation. You have already overcome a portion of it when you justify and say, you know what, I have anxiety problem, because we all do, and you are not alone. Wake up this morning, April 15, 2020, Wednesday morning, dealing with anxiety, people. Let's go. Okay, so dealing with anxiety, think about it. What triggers my anxiety? Let me tell you something, man, and I'm not a professional, but this is some of their advice. Justifiable what triggers it. Well, everything triggers it. Everything triggers anxiety. It ain't gotta be just no one thing. So if you looking for one thing, you overlooking the whole of the thing. Everything can trigger it. So what you do, meditation is one of the main things. Right now, most parents, and our heart goes out to the parents, most parents have their kids at home. Every parent really, unless your kid's somewhere else, and I doubt that. There's no daycares open and nothing going on like that, so every kid is at home. So let's call our kids a trigger after a certain amount of hours a day dealing with them. Okay, so the kid's trigger. How you get rid of the trigger? You can't get rid of your kids. So woe to that. We ask the most gracious, most merciful to forgive us if we're saying anything wrong here. But woe to that. So you have to deal with it. This is something that's in your face every day. There are things that's supposed to be going on right now. That is your child. So it's up to you to begin something. Begin a schedule. If you can schedule this child breakfast, study time, playtime, and rest time, you up there. You right where you need to be. Now again, the first thing that we believe that the Creator created before any species, we're gonna call it, was the ink pen. So what I'm telling you right now is the first thing you do is with your kids is get them a schedule together. Get them a schedule, because those 4 things I named is agenda, and within that, that's where you find your time at for yourself. If you have your kids running around all day long with no agenda, you're asking for anxiety problems, because they gonna drive you up the wall, down the wall, and probably out the door. And they gonna follow you. So when dealing with anxiety, there's a few things you can do, especially while everyone have their kids at home. If you just tuned in, I'm gonna brief you really fast here. When you're dealing with anxiety, the first thing you want to do is justify with I am having anxiety problems. Anxiety is a ball of stress and depression all in one. Some of the symptoms are feeling worried, nervous, restless, increased in heart rate, trembling, feeling weak or tired. And everyone do have a bit of anxiety, every human being. 4 ways of dealing with it is to exercise, eat a balanced diet, limit the drugs and alcohol, and take your time. And my last part about it is read something. That's a form of meditation. Pray first and pray last. That's a form of worship that'll help it. This is not the pills. This is not the doctor, the therapist. This is not that. This is what you have to do right now. Because if I tell you to go see anybody, I'm telling you to go step in that pandemic. If you want some, it's out there. Let's go. My coffee on black. I'm wide open this morning. When you're dealing with anxiety, you have to put together a schedule for your children. Put together a schedule. When they wake up from breakfast, study time, playtime, and go till to sleep time. And you'll find your time. You'll know that when dealing with this anxiety thing, you have been shaped it down a whole bunch. I enjoyed y'all this morning. I hope y'all enjoy me on April 15, 2020. Dealing with anxiety. Take the information and do the right thing with it. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace and blessings.